Good morning, everyone. This is ELIO Piedra, and you are watching Morning Coffee with ELIO. If you are looking to boost your morning and bring that energy level right back up, you know that you are at the right place, right? And let me tell you, today is gonna be super entertaining. I have with me and with you, of course, the founder of Gainesville Circus Center. And you know, it is gonna be amazing. We're gonna be learning a lot about the whole story behind this beautiful organization that is doing so much for the wonderful community of Gainesville, Florida. In Gainesville, Florida, yes, the Gator Nation. Yeah, and she is Corey Ann. So you better stay right there because she will join us after this. Here we go. Get up, baby, this morning. This is ELIO Piedra. Another morning means another coffee because this is Morning Coffee with ELIO. This is going to be a great day. We have a fantastic guest. And the wait, it is over. Welcome to Morning Coffee with ELIO. Corey, how you doing?
Doing great. Thanks for having me.
No, thanks for making time for our Morning Coffee community. I'm super excited, you know, to have you here with us and learn more about the whole story behind Gainesville Circus Center. So, but before we jump into that, talk to me a little bit about how you got involved in this whole world. You have such an artistic world, you know, as part of your life and your family. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, so it's been an indirect path to circus arts, but I did grow up in a very artistic family. My mom always encouraged me and my brothers to do music, and I still create music and art with my mom and my brother to this day. I started out as a dancer. I studied dance, contemporary dance, and then got heavily involved in Afro-Brazilian dance through the Capoeira school here in Gainesville back in the 90s. And I ended up living in Brazil for many years. I got my master's at the Federal University of Bahia, studied a lot of samba and capoeira. And while I was living in Brazil, that's actually where I started training circus arts. Growing up in Gainesville, I wasn't really familiar with aerial acrobatic arts, but when I was living down in Salvador, there was actually a circus school there. And I thought, wow, I've got to try this out.
Yeah.
So, my study of Brazilian dance and circus arts became parallel, and I sort of specialized in those two things as an artist. And when I ended up moving back to the US, I continued working with samba and circus for a while out in California. I worked in San Diego before coming back to my hometown, Gainesville, to keep furthering my education. And while I was working on a Ph.D. in anthropology, still researching culture and art and performance, I started teaching circus arts because there wasn't a circus movement happening here. Actually, I should say I met an artist who lives in Archer named Lynn Polk. And so she had been teaching a little bit, but was kind of stopping, you know, the teaching she had been doing just as I met her and I was starting. So she's really mentored me for the last 10 years and kind of helped my project to grow with her knowledge and experience. So Yeah, I started teaching circus arts in Gainesville in 2010-ish. I started under a different name, S Connection Aerial Arts. And then we rebranded and restructured the business in 2018. We formed Gainesville Circus Center as a nonprofit circus school. And then I also retained my private entertainment company, which is Ascendance Entertainment for private events. So that is the condensed version. Yeah.
Yes.
And I do a lot of work with my mom, who's also a musician and an events coordinator, and my brother, who's a musician based out of Atlanta. We collaborate on some regular events throughout the year, and it's a blessing to be able to work with my family.
Oh my goodness! But let me tell you, there is a lot of information, such an amazing, incredible story. It's like, let's break it down. But before we do that, let's send a big hug to Lynn Polk. You just mentioned Lynn. I love Lynn as well. Such a wonderful friend of mine, amazing producer, and always doing art. So let's start from the beginning. You were a dancer and you also dance samba and you've been involved in the Latin culture, I will say a lot as well. And then you said anthropology as well.
Yeah, so I mean, I've always been a nerd and loved going to school, loved academia. So I studied dance through school, and then after the master's degree, there's only a couple PhD programs in dance that are out there. And when I was getting my PhD, I think there was one or two in the country at the time, and they were really new programs. But anthropology is a more established discipline where I could keep studying culture and the arts and human performance and the sort of philosophy behind what makes us move. Also the politics behind entertainment and the sociocultural history behind an art form. So anthropology seemed like just a more sort of grounded way to go to further my education. So yeah,
That is awesome.
I love
That
being a
is,
student.
yeah, that is fantastic. So now let's talk a little bit about this project that I know you have with your family, and
Mhm.
this one right here. Let's talk about this.
Oh yes. So Dusty's Ragtime Circus is a creation between me and my brother, Justin Cottrell. He's an Atlanta-based musician. He's the music director of the show. I'm the choreographer and wrangler of acrobats. And we've been working on this project together since 2016. We first presented this at Market Street Pub back when Market Street was still happening. That was one of our favorite venues to perform. And over the years, the show's really evolved. We actually took it on our first Southeast US tour last year. We were able to get some funding from the State of Florida Division of Cultural Affairs. We took it to Atlanta, Lexington, St. Louis, Ludlow. Shout out to Burkus Brewery for having us. And then we finished our tour back here at the Downtown Arts Festival last year. So the show takes pop music and does ragtime interpretations of pop music. So it's really kind of quirky and fun. And then we add on the acrobatic dance and the aerial arts. But it's a show where my brother and I can really be ourselves, that sibling rivalry and the true hardships of trying to be an artist and life on the road. Like we get to share all of that in the show, and it's probably the most honest and fun thing I think I've ever made.
That was fun. That is so awesome. And that was you singing, right? That was you
That
singing.
was me singing. Yes, I get to sing a little bit.
All right. Can you sing? Can you sing anything for us this morning?
Oh goodness. Babe, you wanna give me kisses sweet, but only for one night and no peace. Maybe you'll go away and never call, but a taste of honey is worse than none at all. Oh, darling, in that case, I don't want no part. I do believe that would only break my heart. Oh, if you feel like loving me, if you've got the notion, I second that emotion.
Come
There
on,
you go.
somebody! Come on, somebody! Hey, clap, clap! I want you make I want you commenting some clapping. You know the emoji that is clapping. Yeah, yes, emojis right now. Oh my goodness, that was so good. You are so talented. Wow, you've been studying so much. You've been dancing. You've been doing this circus stuff that is so hard. So Corey, talk to me about the training because I understand that. I mean, the training is so hard. I mean, for example, my wife and I, we used to go to gymnastics a lot. We love that,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
And I don't know how similar they are, but they seem it seem to be as hard as gymnastics or probably harder. What do you think?
I think any movement discipline, dance, gymnastics, any sport, like they're all equally hard on the body, and they're gonna vary with your personality, how hard you push yourself, and also your trainer, how hard your coach is pushing you. Um, I originally my dance started with ballet, classical dance, which is pretty rigid and sort of no tears, suck it up kind of mentality. Uh, and then as I've grown and explored, and also my body's gotten older, I've learned other ways to approach movement arts where you kind of learn to understand that pain is an indicator, and it's this is like your limit, and you have to understand what sort of pain means pushing your limit, and what sort of pain means, oh, I'm actually hurting myself in a bad way. So as movement artists and athletes, we have to learn that for ourselves. um, I've definitely suffered numerous injuries over the years, and I work very hard now with my staff, who are all much younger than me, to make sure that they're training in safe ways, because I need their bodies to last. Um, because each year that goes by, the work does get a little bit harder.
Yes, I know. And how, for example, now that you mentioned that, what is that the age that when you see, oh, my body is not like ready anymore, to do this type of movement?
Well, I'm glad you asked, because I want to clarify. So I don't think there is an age where you stop performing, but your performances change. I think some of the richest and most beautiful performances, even by dancers, have been from older dancers, because they're so full of life, and just you see that experience in the movement, but maybe they're not pulling a triple backflip, you know? So the skills that are incorporated change, but the texture gets richer.
Awesome. Anything that you remember? You mentioned injuries and very hard, times, training and hard work because
Mhm.
everything. I mean, to be able to accomplish anything in life, we need the mindset of working hard and go for it. But what is one of the hardest moments for you as an artist, right? That you remember, that you can mention and share that experience with our audience.
Oh gosh. Okay. Can I give you two?
Yes, please.
Okay. So one, like I said, I lived a number of years in Brazil studying Brazilian dance. So studying Afro-Brazilian dance.
Wow.
So being the gringa, the very white American,
Yes.
living amongst fascistas in Rio de Janeiro, I had to overcome a lot of my preconceived notions about what a rehearsal should look like, about what a presentation should look like, about what professionalism means, and really had to take a back seat and allow myself to learn from these women who essentially, you know, I was a guest in their house. I'm there to study and learn their art. And as much as I thought I was coming with an open mind, once I was there, I realized I still didn't have an open mind. And so that was a nice little culture shock. And I think I came out the better for it. And I hope the people that I danced with also benefited somewhat from sharing with me as well, hopefully. But yeah, just the idea of what a structure means for me if I'm going to hold a rehearsal, or what a structure means for me if I'm going to design a performance was totally different. And in the end, it still comes out being this beautiful, spectacular creation. And you realize that if you never went about it their way, you never would have gotten there. Like, that's how they got to this amazing, explosive, world-renowned, fantastic celebration everyone knows as Carnival. And it's known for being chaotic, but there is a method to the madness if you're patient. So that was one thing. Another thing that I realized early on was that it's not enough to be good at your art. The amount of time and energy you have to dedicate to being organized and a good communicator and managing your network, managing your resources, that has more to do with whether or not you can be successful than if you are actually a talented artist. I know lots of really hardworking artists that, you know, rehearse at home 8-10 hours a day, but they don't know how to get their material out there. And so I was really frustrated when I realized that. So I don't want to learn social media marketing. I'm sorry, I don't want to. But I know that I have to. I have to know how to do it. I have to know how to maintain a website. I have to know how to do an interview.
Yes, right.
This is much more nerve-wracking to me than putting on a performance. But, you know, it's all part of the game.
Yes, that's so awesome. And let me tell you something, I am so glad that you mentioned these aspects and elements that they are super important for an artist. Number one, you mentioned how to always stay kind of like be motivated and always try to reach the best that you can. You mentioned good is not enough, and you are totally right. For example, sometimes when people ask me, I mean, most of the days, Elio, how you doing? I say, better than good, because if you can actually say that out loud and kind of like project that into your life, into your career, you are gonna be, at the end of the day, better than good. You are reaching for greatness, and that's what artists are like you guys are doing. Plus, you mentioned another thing that is super important, and I love that, and I'm actually passionate about it, which is learning how to market yourself. When I was a little kid, I remember my dad used to tell me, think about this. Let's say you are selling shampoo. You are selling something basic, whatever it is, and you have the best shampoo in the world. I mean, if you have it at home, that becomes pointless. You need to expose that. The rule number one is people need to know that you exist, and then they can decide if, as an audience, if you're good or not, if you are worth to watch, or you know, it is so important. And I really hope that our audience that is watching, especially if you're an artist, if you have your little kid that you want them to become artists, they need to work hard, right? They need to work constantly, day in, day out. Social media marketing, Corey, people said, I can afford to promote, and I always think you can afford not to promote.
Yeah,
That's the thing. You gotta be all in.
Yeah, and there's so many ways to promote yourself now. You don't have to buy a radio ad to promote yourself. I mean, there are plenty of very accessible ways to start. And then once you build your business, then you can go for that bigger, commercial or whatever kind of more expensive marketing plan you may have. But hanging posters is not expensive.
Exactly, and you can do
Yeah.
it. Yes. So now let's jump into your school. You also have an amazing school where you actually teach people from different ages. So talk to me a little bit about your school and what days do you guys teach?
Yeah, so we have classes 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday.
Oh, wow.
Um, we feature aerial silks, lyra, trapeze, flying trapeze. We also offer private lessons in different disciplines like juggling and acrobatic dance. We have been set up behind Depot Park for the last 5.5 years, so most people are familiar with that location. We did move out of that facility during the pandemic. We downsized just because the market has been very uncertain for boutique fitness centers and performing arts centers like ours. So we have been subletting from our friends at Evolve Pilates and Fitness in Celebration Point. So we're offering classes through Evolve, and we also offer our flying trapeze class as well as a day camp for kids at Two Hawk Hammock in Williston, which is where we have our weekly flying trapeze class, and also just recently had our fall student showcase, which was a lot of fun, and we were so glad to have you there with us, Elio.
Yes.
So yes, we're working on these two locations, but we are anxiously awaiting our new space. I've been looking at properties every time I get a chance, and I don't want to say anything too soon, but hopefully we're going to have our new space, and I can make that announcement very soon.
That is awesome. Would you consider yourself an entrepreneur?
Absolutely.
Oh,
Yes.
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 Yes, because you've been doing so many things, and now you're talking about a new goal. You're gonna read. You have new dreams. That's fantastic, and I would love to shout out to your family with this beautiful venue that they are doing a fantastic, fabulous event every week for our community. And it is, I was, you don't know how much I appreciate that, because there is just few places that you can go, especially during this pandemic. So
Mhm.
do you wanna talk about a little bit about your family's menu?
Yes. So Two Hawk Hammock is I guess a recreational facility. They have lodging. They offer horseback riding. It's right next door to Devil's Den Springs, and it's just a large outdoor farm. Very very beautiful, very idyllic, and we've actually been hosting the Two Hawk Country Circus there every year for about
Wow.
10 years now. So that's something we always do in the fall. And then because of the pandemic, my mom wanted to use the space to offer something more regular that people could come to that's safe, because there's plenty of room. You can spread out. You don't have to be close to anyone. It's open air. So we've been doing this weekly socially distanced happy hour
Yeah.
Saturdays starting around 4 o'clock. And every week we feature a different live band. We have the flying trapeze going on, and there's food, and dogs are welcome. So bring the pets. And we have pony petting and carriage rides, and lots of fun stuff for the family.
Fantastic. Yeah, a beautiful venue, and your family is doing an absolutely awesome job for our community, because there is no many places to go. So now let's go back to your school. The best way, is this the best way to reach out to your school, your website?
Yes, at GainesvilleCircus.com, you can register for classes directly. If you have any questions about our classes, info at GainesvilleCircus.com goes directly to my personal email, so you will get a response from me.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So register right now. I don't know. Well, I don't know. We were talking the other day with my wife about, oh, I want Bella to do this, to do that. But she's like, but that's gonna hurt. That's so hard. When you have it, yeah.
You'd be amazed how resilient kids are. You know,
Yes.
kids
Exactly.
bounce back a lot easier than the adults. Although we do teach the full age range. We limited our younger kids classes for now just because it's very difficult to keep small children from touching each other. So we're not holding the littlest kids classes, but pre-pandemic, we started at ages 4 and up, and we hope to get our little kids classes happening again soon. But right now we are ages 10 and up, and my oldest student last year was 72. So it's really for all ages.
Nice. That's awesome. Well, before we go, you must be part of our game of the day. We have the game of the day that we love, and the question is, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let's make it happen. Okay, so basically the game of the day here is super easy. You get to select four of these options and you say, what would you change in the world, Corey? Talk to me from this emotional situation, economic situation, political situation, or mindset. What would you change?
Oh, mindset all the way. Because if people change their mindset, all of those other things are going to go along with it. And your mindset is your priorities and what you value. So that's automatically going to affect your emotions, your economic and political situation too.
I love it. What is the mindset that someone like you need to have to accomplish all the many awesome things that you do? Being an athlete, being an entrepreneur, business, everything.
My mindset is at the fundamental level, we all need clean air and water and a safe living environment. Those few things most people take really for granted, and don't understand how hard it is to achieve anything else if you don't have those basics covered. And then after that, what really matters is having joy and light in your life. And so finding that thing that gives you joy, and making sure you appreciate the people that help you get there, that's what life is really about.
That is awesome, Corey. I am really happy that you are here with us. And let me tell you, I am very passionate about supporting live shows. I'm an entertainer myself, and I am very passionate about supporting others, pushing. Just I want to say pushing, but sometimes you gotta push a little bit. People like, hey, support live shows, support live
Yes.
music, support artists, support the
Mhm.
entertainment industry. So I am gonna let you say goodbye to our audience this morning with a message. What would you say to those people that they need some words of encouragement to keep going, to keep fighting for their dreams, for their goals, especially if they're entertainers, and at the same time, like another message for our community, the international community, the world out there, about supporting live shows. I'm gonna leave you guys with the great Corey Ann, the founder of Gainesville Circus Center.
So for all of the younger or up and coming artists out there, you have to take care of your mind and take care of your body and never give up, because behind every successful person, there's a mountain of failures. And if you don't frequent live events, I promise you it is completely different than going to a movie. It is a real experience. There are real things that happen between performers and the audience that you cannot replicate through a screen. And it's so important for us as humans to connect in that way. So go out and support live entertainment wherever you live, and support the arts. If you can give to an arts foundation in your community, it's going to make your community, and by extension the world, a better place.
Guys, thank you very much for watching Morning Coffee with Elio. Yes, we're really looking forward to seeing you Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Do not forget to like us and follow us on Facebook and become part of the Morning Coffee with Elio community. Stay tuned, stay inspired, and live full.